We are going to talk about all kinds of cool things. We're going to talk about how to launch your art career in 2023. We're going to talk about Milan Art Experience and what that is all about. And we're going to talk about artist identity. Really, what do we mean about artist identity is just how you feel about yourself as an artist and how you're positioned to be successful with your art. So I'm super excited about that. Just little quick intros. My name is Ellie Milan. I'm the founder of Milan Art Institute, and I've been a professional artist selling my artwork since I was, how old was I? I was like 20, 21. So right out of college, I started selling my art. That was back in 1996, so it's been almost 30 years. And Dimitra, what about you?
Well, this is my mom, Ellie, and I have been a professional artist since I was 15, and I learned everything I know through Milan Art Institute, learning from both my parents at an early age, and I knew that I wanted to be an artist from a really young age, and so I launched my career in 2015, and now I run my own art business and sell all over the world through my website, through social media, through galleries. And I'm also a co-owner of Milan Art Institute and help other artists do the same.
Yeah, and also on this live, we have a live chat. Dimitra's husband, Jake, is on the chat, so say hello, Jake.
What's up, beautiful creatives of the world? I'm super excited about this live so that we can answer your questions about Milan Art Experience and give you some insight into how to launch your art career this year and what it takes to actually do that. So super excited about what Ellie and Dimitra are going to be sharing and about the Milan Art Experience because it is just going to be like such an amazing event live in both online and in person in Miami in the Design District, and more to come about that soon. So back to you guys.
Okay. I want to first talk about really belief and why an event like this, why a bunch of artists gathering from all over the world in Miami in the Design District is so impactful and will have this ripple effect, almost like when you throw, a stone into water and these ripples that just last. It's not just a 1-3-day event and okay, you go home and life as usual. It is going to be absolutely transformative. And I know that because I've experienced it. And because of this experience, it's why I'm a professional artist today. It is why I'm able to be successful in what I do. It's really everything. And just a little story, my transformation story is I got started in art, which I just told you when I was pretty young. I sort of discovered my passion for art when I was a teenager. I was about 15 when it happened. And so by the time I was thinking about college, it was really important to my dad. He's Greek, that I went to college because he wanted me to get an MRS degree. So if you don't know what an MRS degree is, it's marrying a doctor, lawyer, engineer who would take care of me. So I could, if I wanted to do art, it was okay. I would just play with my colors while my husband, went to work and took care of me. That was his mindset. And he told me, over and over again that artists don't make it, starving artists. My children would, be starving and we would be living on the streets in cardboard boxes and I could never actually make it. And so once I was marrying another artist, of course, he was freaking out over that and was not supportive whatsoever of that decision. And John and I, my artist husband, we had this sort of, it was me and John against the world. We had to fight this perception of you can't make it as an artist. And we really felt like we had this huge call in our life. There was this, grand invitation into this extraordinary world of being professional artists and living the lifestyle of a creative, yet the whole world was against us. Everybody we turned to, everybody we talked to was saying, you can't make it. Artists can't make it. Go into graphic design at least, they begged us, or go get a teaching degree. My dad said, get a teaching degree, because you'll starve, you're not gonna make it. And then I'd have to take care of you. And it was kind of terrible, but we also felt really, it wouldn't go away. This dream, it just would not go away. And as we made those decisions and we went to art school and we actually got jobs as artists painting in the decor market. And I wanted to get free from that job because I had a 9-to-5 job painting, which was fine, but I wanted to go into business for myself. I wanted to be an independent artist in my studio, calling my own shots, making my own decisions. And John wanted that too. And all the time in my head, I just heard, "You can't make it. You can't make it. I heard my dad's words, and that I married a loser, and I married this artist that will never make it." And so I went through so much self-doubt, and it just constantly ate at me. And I really wanted to get free from my job and just be a full-time artist. Well, what happened is I was also confronted with being incredibly shy. I had no skills or tools for business and developing business. I went to school and studied art. I had no idea about marketing or how to do taxes even or none of that stuff. I was not equipped, and I did not believe in myself. That was the most crippling part. I just didn't believe in myself. And I started to believe those words and get sucked back into that ordinary world, sucked back into, 9-to-5, the 45-year plan. And it took everything in me to want more and to rise out of that. And so I started reading business books because I realized I have a shortfall here. And so I read I started with things that would break me out of my shyness, like The Magic of Thinking Big and How to Win Friends and Influence People, these sort of classic books, Think and Grow Rich. And that led me into more and more business books and sales books and how to sell myself to other people, how to talk. And I was so shy at the time, I couldn't talk to strangers. I couldn't talk to more than 5 people at one time. And I really needed to grow. And so I went to these events, these business events, these entrepreneurial events that they weren't Tony Robbins, but they were like a Tony Robbins event. So if you know Tony Robbins, he's a motivational speaker that's world famous. He has millions and millions of followers. Maybe even billions. I don't know. Anyway, he's the guy that has the microphone coming out and his veins in his neck are popping and he's got all the TV screens behind him of all the people watching like this giant worldwide Zoom call. Anyway, and he's very motivational. I think you went to a Tony Robbins, right?
Mm-hmm.
Let us know in the chat if you know who Tony Robbins is.
Yeah. I imagine he's really famous.
A lot of people do.
Most people do. So anyway, I went to these events that were like a Tony Robbins type event, and they really did the trick. Because what happened is I got around other people that were chasing their dreams. I got around other people that said no to the 45-year plan and a soul-sucking job that they didn't care about, and they said yes to what they wanted to do with their life and what they felt was their destiny. And it was all over the board. Some people were, all kinds of businesses. Any business you could imagine. It wasn't for artists. I probably was the only artist there. But what happened is we had a common enemy. We all had this common enemy, and we heard these tactics and we heard these belief stories and we heard these testimonials of people that had done it and people that had overcome, the cyclops of their journey that was, trying to pull them back into that, ordinary world. And I started to really believe in myself. I started to believe in my dream. I started to know that this is what life is all about. This is what life is meant for. We are meant to do something great in our life. You are meant to do something great in your life. You have greatness inside of you, but you just have to believe. You just have to believe in yourself. So when I walked away from that event, that was it. I was hooked. And I knew I had to keep going to these events. So, I would go to one of these events for a few years. I would go about once or twice a year and get around people because I didn't have people in my life. I had college friends in my life that, would go to bars and drink beers and smoke pot. And I didn't have people in my life at that time that were making it. And so this was my path. This was who I had to connect with, to raise my belief. And immediately, as soon as I began to believe in myself and believe in my dreams and know that this is real, I'm not making this up, and my dad is wrong, right? That was a huge moment for me. I began to succeed. I began to really, really succeed. I mean, I quit my job. I came home and painted in my studio full time. So did John. We were both, in our early 20s. I was a little earlier though, but in our early 20s, making a living full time, selling our art, working with art reps, working with dealers, and I just kept learning and learning more and more and filling myself with belief. So I know that type of thing is what is so important to your success. So that is why we're putting on this event. That is what Milan Art Experience is all about. It's like a Tony Robbins experience, but just for artists, so that you have this surge of belief and you get around other people who are chasing their dream of being a professional artist as well. And you're hearing the success stories and you're meeting people from the industry and you are rubbing elbows with people that are further along in the journey than you. And it's so inspiring. And that is exactly what you need in order to succeed. And, I sort of witnessed, because, going through my own sort of transformational story, it's like you don't realize how transformational it is in the moment. You just don't. And I wonder if you can relate to that. But with yours, I witnessed it from the outside and I could see what was happening. And so Dimitra was 15 when she got started, and very much like me, you were a little bit shy and insecure, as most 15-year-old girls are.
Yeah.
And so tell everybody what it was like.
So yeah, I started, well, I don't know where to start. Just
Well,
kind
you
of
got
show
it.
the whole
She got an
story, or-
opportunity to work
Yeah.
with a publisher, which is like an agent, and they would take care of her entire business, and all she had to do was paint. However, they had all these shows lined up that she had to go to. She had to speak, public speak.
So as soon as I signed like the contract with them, I mean, they had this whole business plan set in motion, and there was all these dates. And like she said, I would have these art shows and I would have to go there, talk with the collectors, know how to kind of sell my art, but also they were like giving me pointers on like how to sell it, but also not really be salesy because I'm the artist. So there was like this balance that I had to have. And it really was overwhelming in the beginning. And I felt really terrified to do any kind of public speaking. Being on camera like this, I could never do when I was 15. That would just terrify me. And so even having a social media account was scary. So there were so many things that I had to overcome, and just growing up in this environment, I felt so blessed to have all these artists around me and to be a part of Milan Art Institute and have other students that I could learn from my parents, just be in this really great community. I think it gave me a lot of confidence. And then, of course, facing my fears, just saying yes anyway, going to the shows, working with this publisher, it brought me so much like growth, and I was able to come out of my shell, and really it gave me the confidence I needed as an artist to be successful and share about my art and share on social media and really find who I was as an artist.
And so, can you elaborate a little bit more about like identity and identity shift and how you thought of yourself before facing all these shows? Because what happened is they scheduled it all out and they hadn't launched her yet. And so there wasn't a public launch yet. She was doing all this work behind the scenes of preparing her portfolio, getting the artwork just right, tweaking this, tweaking that, building that out. And they had this launch day. I think it was like in January, wasn't it? You started working with them in September. So there was this buildup from September to January. And they kept talking to her about, well, in March, you're going to do this show. And in February, you're going to do this show. And well, you're going to meet this gallery owner, and they want to hear your story and make sure you know what your story is. And she was like, and I remember you had this like, even just kind of that crashing point where you were saying, I'm 15. Who wants to hear my voice? Who wants to hear what I have to say?
Yeah, it was hard.
I haven't lived a life.
Yeah.
I don't know if I have anything to say. And
Yeah, and it was really difficult at first, but I just knew that I love painting. I needed to paint, and that my art told their own stories. And eventually, over time, I realized what my art was about and the message that was kind of hidden throughout all of them. And I mean, I really don't think that there's an age limit. You can start your career at any age, even if you're 10 years old or if you're in your 30s, 40s, 60s. It really doesn't matter. Everyone has a story, and everyone can bring beauty to the world. And I think that's kind of your identity as an artist, is to bring beautiful things to the world so that you're bringing your visions to life and affecting other people that way. And so once I started seeing how my art affected people and how they found their own stories within them, then I felt like, okay, I really do have a voice and my art does mean something. And I just had to keep painting and keep pushing through and ignore all those self-doubt that we all deal with. And yeah, that was probably the biggest shift for me. And also just, this is kind of going into a different topic slightly, but another identity shift happened after I stopped working with the publishers, because during that time I was so young and everything was so new to me, and it was just this major growing phase for me. But I was kind of, because they were handling all the business aspect of my art career, and I was just painting, I didn't really feel like I was in charge. My mindset was that these publishers were my bosses, and I had to just listen and do what they told me and paint what they wanted me to paint. And so I was kind of, what would you say, taking more of a back seat or something. I would just be in my studio and focus on my paintings. And there came a point where I was starting to just realize that this direction they were taking me wasn't what the future held for artists. It's not only galleries. You couldn't be super successful if you only work with galleries. So there's so much more to being a successful artist and being able to really connect directly with your collectors and have your own brand. And there's so much more you can do as an artist besides just selling art. You're like an influencer. So I started realizing that when I was 17. And
that's about when you went to that Tony Robbins event.
Well, that kind of, yeah, that was
because
like,
you were transitioning from
maybe 6 months later.
Yeah, being taken care of to, wow, I now own my own business and I'm running my own art business. And again, it's the self-doubts of, I'm too young, I don't have experience, I don't know what I'm doing.
It was really scary to go out and do that, but
what did that event do for you, where you were around other people who were going after their dreams, and you were hearing from all those speakers, and what was it like?
It was so inspiring, and I just had a small taste of it. It wasn't one of his like 3-day or 5-day events. He was just kind of a guest speaker at this event. I think it was Gary V's event, but it was just one day in Phoenix that I went, and it was like an all-day thing, and just there was hundreds, maybe a couple thousand people all together in this giant room, and people from all different backgrounds, but everyone wanting to have their own business. And yeah, it was just really cool. And he went super deep in really accepting yourself, and he went so personal. It's hard to describe, but it was like everyone felt like we were all on the same page and we were all going through something together at the same time, which felt really powerful.
Yeah. And that is, I think, like a huge key of really making these connections with like-hearted people going after the same things. It's like all of your intention is now magnified. It's like a 10x factor of what it is you bring to the table, because everybody's doing that. Everybody's coming in, bringing that, and with a level of hope and vulnerability to really go for it, and a level of devotion and commitment to, that's it. this is the year I'm doing it. I'm not making any more excuses. I'm not justifying anything. I am going to do it this year. This is when I make my mark. This is when I step into my destiny and I begin to change the world with my art. And there's something so powerful about that. So powerful. So that is really what is at the heart of this. There's all kinds of great education. There's all kinds of information. There's amazing speakers. There's fun. There is incredible, gift bags filled with art supplies and fun things. There's amazing things there.
Also, the destination, we're going to be in Miami in this beautiful art gallery, the House of Arts, which is it's such a cool place. So yeah, we'll be like in the epicenter of just so much inspiration. And on your free time, you can go and explore galleries and just get inspired.
Yeah. So even though there's all that cool stuff, I would say the most transformational part of it is this thing that we're talking about, this whole experience of seeing that it's so much bigger than just ourselves. When it's just us and we're just in our studio and we're wrestling with our self-doubts, we're wrestling with the words that people have told us, the things our teachers have said or our professors have said, the things that, maybe even friends and family have said to us that have discouraged us and made us feel like we can't make it. It could have even been an art school that you went to. There's so many things out there that are, their intention is not always bad, but what ends up happening is they discourage us from our dreams and they magnify our obstacles. They magnify all the negatives and they don't build the dream. They don't build the possibilities. They don't build the path and the road that you really can do it. And not only can you do it, not only is all these other artists doing it, but you can do it too. And there's really nothing stopping you. And so, as artists, we need that. I don't know where it would be today if I didn't have that experience with those business owners that fueled that dream and that belief. Because whatever you believe you will achieve, you will. It's all about belief. And even though the value of these 3 days is beyond belief in terms of information and quality teaching, right? And nuts and bolts and step by step and all those things. We also have built into that all kinds of surprises and experiences, like actual experiences. And they wouldn't be the experiences if we said what they were. So they're sort of quite secret right now. But it's really about the belief. And, this isn't our first year doing it. We've been doing this for 4 years now because our intent is once a year to have this incredible event that is, full of inspiration, motivation, and information where all these artists come together. And what we've seen over the last 4 years is that artists are becoming lifelong friends with each other. I could name hundreds of artists that have gotten to know each other through these events that still keep in touch today. So it's really incredible. And we hear from them sometimes and they tell us how their lives have changed after these events and what this event, what the Milan Art Experience has meant to them. I have here, I wanted to just read you a quick, what Tanya Johnston. So Tanya Johnston, you can see her here. This is her with her art. She lives in Virginia and she is really, really an amazing artist. And she has gone 3 years in a row to the Milan Art Experience. And this is what she says about it. This will be my third Milan Art Experience. Wild horses, broken Humpty Dumptys couldn't keep me away. She's such an artist. Okay. I would have way too much FOMO. This is definitely an experience, an encounter, an opportunity to get closer to people who vibe where you are at. What you have, a yearning to learn and do and be. Virtual is awesome, but being there and feeling the feels. meeting people in your tribe, your community, simultaneously being a mentor and mentee by encouraging others and being encouraged, giving and receiving good stuff that makes you shine from the wonderfulness of it all. A+ in terms of value. Do it. You won't regret it.
That's so cool.
Yeah, I think that's, here's something Stephanie Linden says. Do you have Stephanie? So
Yeah.
this is her art. This is her website. So you can, this is what Stephanie looks like. So she says, I'm signed up for the Milan Art Experience for the 3rd year in a row. I can't tell you how valuable this conference has been for me. I have learned so much about the professional side of being an artist, and the group discussions really catalyzed the information for me in a way that has really moved me forward in my art career. Plus, the ability to network with other artists is irreplaceable. There are many artists I'm still in contact with from previous conferences. If you're still on the fence, sign up today.
So cool.
Yeah, really cool. And there's tons of testimonials we have. We get sent testimonials all the time, and we hear their progress reports and what they're doing. I just received a testimonial. I think it was yesterday or the day before, and this artist was telling me how she has sold just in the last couple months over $5,000 in just prints. Not to mention originals. Plus, she sold 3 originals. So in just like 2 months, she sold all these prints plus 3 originals, and it's because of this believing in herself, setting her sights on achieving and setting goals that cause you to grow, setting goals that make you have to ask the tough questions. All right, what do I really need to do? What do I need to change? What do I actually need to do? And who do I need to meet? What do I need to make happen to make this goal work? And if you begin asking yourself those questions and you believe you can do it and you see the path there with the right teaching, with the right knowledge, you will succeed. So it's a really, really powerful thing. I've been talking a long time, Jake. Do you have anything to say? I just put you right on the spot, didn't I?
Yeah, I was just sending some links in the chat. But yeah, a lot of people are talking about how their friends and family aren't super supportive. One of the artists in the chat said that, their mom told them specifically, artists don't make money, so go into nursing. And then another artist said that their friends and family is very unsupportive, and they all say you can't make money from painting. So yeah, I would just say, those people, it's not their fault. So first of all, you have to forgive all those people, I would say, in terms of like them not knowing, because in reality, it's just they're speaking from a lack of knowledge. They don't know how an artist can make money, so they just assume that they can't. And the truth is that we live in this new creator economy, this economy where anyone can make money from their creativity.
Absolutely.
So
through
true.
so many different platforms and develop an empire with different streams of income, whether that's ongoing through like licensing and royalties and YouTube views. I mean, by God, you can do so many different things and make money with your art. And also, so that's all the virtual side, but there's also a ton of ways to make money with your art in person, through galleries and through art shows and exhibitions and events and live painting and, painting at weddings. I mean, there's so many different avenues that you can pursue, which is actually one of the things that we're going to cover at Milan Art Experience this year, is developing an unshakable financial strategy for your art, developing multiple streams of income. So I'm so excited, but I just wanted to say, don't hold a grudge against your family members because they just don't know. You can just hold on to this secret or, educate them, inform them of the different ways and prove them wrong.
That's right.
You can be the person that helps break down that starving artist curse that your friends and your family hold on to and perpetuate. You can be that person and that voice and that light in their lives, and so that they can become, spreaders of this amazing truth that, the new economy that we live in. So,
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, in a way, what it really felt like to me is almost like the Romeo and Juliet story, where Romeo and Juliet, they fall in love and they have this forbidden romance that both families wouldn't allow. And they sort of went into their sort of internal world, their extraordinary world, and everybody on the outside of that was against them, was against this cause, and it kind of felt like that for me. It was like John and I were we fell in love, and I wasn't my parents didn't really want me to be with him. It wasn't their idea of who I should be with. And the career path that we both chose was not what they wanted for us. And they were constantly speaking against it. And so it fueled our determination. Once we flipped and really began to believe, and we got around other people that were making it, and they had same stories. We would hear these testimonials and these stories of these people that launched their businesses and took these key things, ran with them, and were extremely successful. And all of their family members told them not to do it, to just take a job, and it was too risky. And so we began to see we weren't necessarily the only ones. And so this negativity or this lack of support was like fuel for me. I was determined to prove my dad wrong. I was determined no matter what. If I even for a second considered giving up and doing something easier or basic, I would be like, no, I'm not going to do that. I am going to prove my dad wrong. I will never give up. I will persevere no matter what. And I think that you can take those negativities, you can take that lack of support, and you can use it as a piece of and part of your motivation. So yeah, and I think a lot of us experience it. I don't know a single person yet that I've met that has told me, oh, my parents just really wanted me to be an artist. Well, maybe that's your story. Okay, she's the only one. But I mean, if it was so bad, why would I want all my kids to be an artist? But yeah, so most parents do not tell their kids, oh, you've got to be an artist. You need to go to the best school. You need to learn from the best teachers. You need to, invest in your career. You need to invest in your education because you can be an amazing artist and change the world with your art. Art is powerful and it can change the world, and you can step into that and be an influencer and live a life of greatness and excellence, right? We don't have parents that say that about art. They go to what is considered to be safe, what is considered to be, safe and secure. And I remember when the economy was bad in 2008, 2009, all my friends around me lost their jobs, lost their means of income. And we had it rough too. But at the end of the day, they would just be sitting there in their house, not able to do anything except try to get another job, which they weren't able to get. There was no way for them to just go make some money. I could, with just my hands and a few raw materials, throw something together, whip up 5-10 paintings, hit the streets, join a tent show, and make some money and feed myself and put a roof over my head.
And you did it, yeah.
And I did. I had to hustle because, things were hard for everyone at that time. But I had a vehicle to do it, something that I could, with very little raw material, turn into money. And that is what you have in your hands as artists. You can make money like that anytime you want, once you have the skills, once you have the belief and the knowledge and you know how to do it. And that is not what dentists have. That is not what accountants have. That is not what somebody who works retail has. So that is something that's really, really powerful that really artists have.
Okay, there's a couple comments, maybe one. I know, we're going to do a more thorough Q&A at the end, and I'm saving everyone's questions and comments too. But something that I would just love for you guys to respond to, because it is, this person was very vulnerable in sharing this, and it's hard to share this stuff publicly. So Karima, and so I want to commend you, Karima. She said, my friends and family are supportive. I put myself out there once at a vending event and no one bought anything. I felt so hurt and vulnerable, like my secret was exposed. No one cared. Now I'm too shy.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
that's
I would say first and foremost, it is not your fault. It is not. It is not your art. It is not. The life you've chosen. It's not. The even your dream or how much you care about your dream. It's none of those things. I can tell you, I have experienced so many art shows that I got, skunked, like not one sale.
Same for me too.
Yeah. Anybody who succeeds in life fails their way to success. That's just the facts. That's why these events are so important, because they give you the motivation and the belief and the to persevere and move on. The people who succeed are the ones who persevere. So there's small adjustments that you would need to make. You need to look at your art. You need to look at the people who came. What kind of show did you choose?
Location.
The location of it, the timing of it, the price points that you had. I've been in shows that all those things checked out. I was in the right place at the right time. I had the right product. And maybe I made a few sales, but I walked away with maybe $800 instead of $8,000 because I didn't know how to sell my art. I didn't know how to sell it. And I didn't have the belief. I was sort of sitting there shy and embarrassed and not sure of myself, not sure what to say. And the only sales I made were if people fell in love with something and threw money at me. I didn't know how to sell my art. I didn't know how to tell my story. I didn't know how to even identify what my story is to tell. And that is 100% of what we are offering. That's just a peek into some of the content from this Milan Art Experience. We're going to show you how to identify what your story is, how to craft your story, be able to tell your story to collectors, how to identify your ideal collector, and most importantly, very importantly, how to actually sell your artwork. And we don't mean, sleazy used car salesman techniques, not that. It's simply connecting with your collector, hearing their need, and you being there, giving them what they already want. And knowing how to navigate that whole sales process and how to close a sale. Because so many people, I bet, came to your show, really loved your stuff, but didn't know how to. They'd never bought art before. They probably even felt unworthy of your art. That's a thing. There's a lot of people who want art and they fall in love with it, but they don't have the identity of an art collector. They don't see themselves as an art collector. So they just think that beautiful thing is for somebody else. And they need a connection with you. They need to hear your story. And they need to know that that piece was made just for them. And they need to know that all they have to do is buy it. And it's theirs. And they get to live with it and they own it. They are now an art collector. And so it's not your fault. You just have to have the right information, learn the right things, learn from people who have already done it, who are experienced with it. And I think it's fantastic that you have people that support you. And I think that if you recommit to your dream and you just get the right information and you keep trying and you keep persevering, you will be successful. You will sell your artwork and you'll have shows, because I've also experienced this, where everything flies off the wall. It is probably the most exhilarating, beyond your comprehension feeling you could ever have when you look around and there's empty walls and you see people walking out with paintings with bubble wrap all over them and it's just going out the door. And it's an incredible feeling. So I've experienced the worst lows that you could imagine, and I've experienced the highest highs you could imagine, and everything in between. And that's really what I think most artists experience, is what you've experienced. Any artist I've ever known experiences.
Yeah. And something really cool about the art experience is that we're going to be actually sharing one of our whole workshops is about how to sell your work, how to talk with your collectors, know how to share about your art, your story. And then we're doing another one where you get to learn your story and how to communicate that in the right way to your collectors. So all of that you'll learn at the art experience, and it's going to help you so much and really give you the confidence to start selling your work.
Yeah, it's really an art conference like no other. It's like you have to, that's why we decided to call it Milan Art Experience, because it's not just a conference. You're not just learning all these techniques. You're actually, if you come in person, going to see them being implemented in real time at this art show. So the first 3 days are all about learning. You're going to dive in to a bunch of different topics, and we'll go over that more in detail.
Here's day one. I don't know if you want to share. This is our itinerary for the art experience. And everything we're sharing with you guys is from our personal experience as professional artists. So maybe you're wondering, who is this conference or this art experience for? And it's for any artist or creative person who really wants to take their art to the next level, and take their whole career to the next level, and really know what they want in their future and have a goal that they're reaching towards. And so you'll come to this experience and be super inspired and uplifted and have plans and goals in place when you leave, so that you have something with all the knowledge that you just learned.
So, and then you'll be writing to us your testimonial about all the things you achieved and the sales that you made and the advances you made in your art journey. And we'll be so proud of you, and it'll be amazing. And then you're going to want to go next year.
So here is day one. Jake, is this on the screen?
Yes.
Okay. So
Could you make it full screen?
let me see.
It's the green button.
Okay. So, day one. I mean, I don't need to go through all the details, but we have a couple keynotes. We have artist stories, an artist social hour. So that's going to be really fun. We have built-in, really fun experiences. Is that on here, or that's going to be a surprise? It's on there?
No, I think
Okay.
it's a lot of that's a surprise.
Okay, cool. And then we have workshops. And so it's a pretty busy, packed schedule, but we also have some breaks in between, so you guys can go
Lots of
eat.
socializing.
And this is for the in-person experience. But everything, if you guys can't make it in person, we only have, limited spots available for the in-person, but we also have this available online, so you can join anywhere in the world. It'll be recorded, so if you miss something, you can watch it later. And everything that we're doing at the event will be streamed. So you get to be a part of it while it's happening.
For the first 3 days. The art show won't be live streamed.
Yeah, not the art show.
The entire art show.
We're doing a VIP art show for VIPs who've signed up, but that's just for in-person.
And just so you know, the VIPs is totally sold out. The in-person is almost sold out. So if you are on the fence thinking about coming to Miami, to the Design District, I believe you want to buy your tickets either today or tomorrow, as soon as you can, because we only have 100 spots, and most of them are full.
Yeah.
We're at the kind of tail end of this, and it's amazing that it's almost sold out during the early bird pricing, because we haven't even gotten to where it's the normal price. This is the last 2 days. 3 days? I don't know what day
2
it
days,
is.
yeah.
In 2 days, the price is going to go up.
The price will go up. So, and they'll probably all be sold out by then anyway. So if you're thinking of doing this, just get your tickets. If you're wondering about where to stay.
And the tickets, the link is in the chat. Sorry.
Do you want to talk
The
about
link to buy the tickets are in
the Telegram group with everyone?
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. So, and if you're wondering where to stay, then as soon as you register, then you have an option, if you choose it, to go into this Telegram chat. So we've created a chat with all the people that are going in person, and they are daily chatting with each other, because I'm in that chat, and I see them writing. And they're posting like, I got this Airbnb, it's for 4 people, and this is what it costs. Who wants to go in on it with me? And they're meeting each other and they're staying together. Some people are choosing to stay in a hotel that's in walking distance and with other people that are in that same hotel. So they'll walk over together, get meals together, all those things. So once you're in that chat, you will be able to begin to connect with people who are going and work something out where you guys can, share a place to stay if that's what you choose.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, really cool. This is day 3. So some more workshops and more keynotes, and you get to hear from, we have guest speakers. So in addition to us 3, we'll also have some guest speakers and a gallery director who owns the gallery that we are hosting this event in. And she is a really cool lady. She's going to talk about galleries and their role in the future.
And just to speak to Alessandra Gold a little bit more, she is very well connected in the gallery world. She is someone who you definitely want to spend some time getting to know during this event. It might be a little difficult at times, because I'm sure a lot of people are going to be wanting to, but you're crafty, you're creative, you'll find a way. And she's very warm and welcoming.
She loves talking with artists. She loves meeting with artists. So.
Definitely, yeah. So it's super exciting.
She's really connected in not just the art world, but where it crosses over into other things, like, for example, fashion. So she's very, very connected in the fashion world and has been a part of huge launches of really, really well-known fashion designers and
Chanel
and collaborations. With artists. When we were just in there, she was talking to us about.
She launched her own brand of shoes, and yeah,
but she was talking to us about those silk dresses, and she was encouraging us to collaborate and create these silk dresses. So she's really well connected in a lot of different facets, and knows a lot about what is cutting edge and what is coming. Very visionary, not your normal run-of-the-mill gallery owner. She's extremely innovative and progressive. So she will be really inspiring for sure to hear from. Another speaker that we have coming is Dion Woods. She owns the artist magazine, Iris Journal. She's also one of the main co-creators. I don't know what her position is.
She's the community director.
Community director for Made TV. So that is that launched? Isn't that just launched? Or?
Either it just launched, I think like the end of August. So in the next few days they're launching. Either that or they just launched. I haven't kept up with the launch yet. But.
So Made TV is a streaming show that is launching any minute. And it's a network dedicated to artists. So TV for artists. And so there's all kinds of creative content on there. And so Dion has her show on there, and she is a very accomplished artist that has been selling her artwork for years and years, runs a super successful business. She, again, has her fingers in lots of pots, multiple streams of income. She'll be fascinating to hear from of what a creative, a businesswoman in the creative industry, in art and creating magazines and all the things she's doing. She does retreats. She makes all kinds of things like paints on dressers and dresses and amazing things. Makes products. She does all kinds of things. So she'll be really, really fascinating to hear from, to hear her story, to hear how she's made it will be really encouraging and I think great information.
So day 4 and 5 are the art show that we're doing, and that is called Beauty Reigns. And so this is just what we were mentioning earlier about the VIPs getting to be they get to be part of this group show that we're putting on in the gallery, and everyone's invited to that. It's open to the public. We're also doing some marketing for that. So it's going to be really, really cool, and I'm so excited for it. So that is the whole experience. Ooh.
So do you guys want to highlight now just a few, who is this event for? Like who is the, ideal artist to attend this event? Like, who are some of the people that might benefit from this the most?
I think this is for really any artist. If you are an artist, and particularly into drawing, painting, art that goes on the wall, if you have a desire to sell your art, to be a professional artist, to step into a creative life where you full time, that is all you do and all you know, and you've become unemployable. And this is your thing, full time creating art. This is definitely for you. You need to be there. You absolutely need to be there. You cannot miss this. I believe that right now we are seeing so many things converge. Whatever they're saying about the economy, don't believe it. There are more millionaires being made every single day because we're in this new economy where, a 12-year-old on YouTube can be making a 6-figure income. We're living in unprecedented times, and that's happening constantly. And there's so many ways you can monetize your creative efforts these days that wasn't even there 5 years ago, that wasn't there 10 years ago, and certainly wasn't there 25, 30 years ago when I got started. So and so this is for you. This is for you so that you can step into that extraordinary world, leave your ordinary world, and have the keys and the tools to make it. And know what your path is going forward. Have a clarity of direction from this event of what is my path forward into my dream, and be able to actually do it. And it doesn't just end there. Like, you'll never hear from us again or see us again. You'll have a continuity of relationship with the artists that you meet there, even if you join online in the chat. By the end of this, you guys are best buddies, and you meet so many people even online. And we have Art Social, our social media that sort of houses everything that we're doing, where you can connect and you can have a continuous relationship and community that will always be there to provide you what you need for you to make it, for you to do it. So. I think this event is for any artist who wants to elevate their art, who wants to succeed with their art, who wants to start an art business or has an art business that isn't doing what you hoped it would do, that you want to take it to the next level. For somebody who's really creative and feels this urge and this calling to move into a creative lifestyle, to move into a creative profession, but you just don't know where to get started. You don't know if this, what this is stirring inside of you and what to do with it. This is the place you need to be. It's really all about your passion. It's not about talent. It's not about luck. It's not even about skills at this point. It's about passion, because skills you can get, knowledge you can get, finding your voice, finding, how to tell your story, how to create a body of work. All of that you can learn. You can learn all of that. That's stuff you can get in the process. What's most important is having a passion for art and a dream in your heart to, I rhymed, I didn't mean to, and a dream in your heart to pursue that excellent life, to pursue that life of greatness. So, yeah.
Maybe this is a good time to start answering questions that you saved.
Yes. Okay, great. So, all right, well, I'm in the middle of writing out an answer to this, but better spoken. So Cadamus Rex said, I like the idea of this, but I'm skeptical. So I asked why. That's totally legit. It's totally, understandable to be skeptical, but what are some questions? And they said, it seems like you're guaranteeing a full-time career making and selling art. How is that possible?
My favorite. Can I answer this one?
Yeah.
Okay. Here's the thing. Oh, I love that. Okay, you're absolutely right. I would be skeptical just like you if I didn't know what I know. Here's the thing: is we've been told, along with that same lie that artists can't make it, starving artist myth, right? Along with that is this idea that there's almost this like dancing hand of success. And if you're lucky, it might land on you and maybe you'll be successful. Or there's this other idea that only a few make it and you never know. It's a giant mystery as to who that is. Sometimes you see these, not so great artists wildly successful. And then you see these, really good artists that don't seem to be having any success. So it feels random. It feels like there's no rhyme or reason as to why some people make it and some people don't. And it's true. There are people who don't make it. But here's the thing. It was 100% their choice, 100% their choice. So it is likewise 100% your choice if you do make it. So as long as you're exposed to the right teaching, what is the right teaching? The right teaching is simply this. It doesn't matter if you're going into real estate or you're going into art or you want to learn to play the flute. I don't care what it is you choose to do. If you find somebody who has already achieved what it is you want to achieve, they've done it. They have done it and it's proven. Then they are the right information. That is the right information. So as long as you have the right teachers and you have the right information and you don't ever give up and you persevere and you realize you are 100% in control of your success, you will succeed. You will succeed. The people who don't succeed, they gave up. It wasn't their fault. They didn't have the right teaching. They just kind of tried a few things and it didn't work. And so they gave up, or they just didn't work hard enough. They got distracted, right? There's a bunch of reasons. And a lot of times the reason people say they didn't succeed is not the real reason why they didn't succeed. That is, so we're not guaranteeing anything because it's up to you. You are the one that is the guarantor, not me. What I can guarantee is that if you work hard, you never give up, and you're passionate, and you are willing to work hard, building the skill, learning from the right people, learning the right things, you will be successful. If you do all that, if you do the work, if you do your part, you will be successful. And I've seen it thousands of times. I've seen people learn the skills, find their voice, build a brand, promote their artwork, sell their artwork, and they're successful. I've seen it over and over and over again. That's basically the pattern. And depending on where you are in that process, maybe you already have the skills and you just need to find your voice. Maybe you know your voice, you have the skills, but you got to build a portfolio. Maybe you have all of that and you just need to know how to actually market, promote, and sell your artwork. So all those things can be learned. You just have to learn from somebody who's done it. And that's where we come in. We're not the only people you could learn from. If you can find another artist that's really, really successful, that's put together programs and a school and opportunities to teach you, then, you could probably learn from them. And that's what we've done. We've put together all these programs. We've put together, these experiences and these opportunities.
For every level of artists.
For every level of artists. Yeah.
Okay, so asking Lilia's question next. How will this event help me connect to my clients or galleries? So there are several different topics that we're covering that speak to that exactly. So one, you're going to learn the power of storytelling and art. You're going to learn how to utilize your individual personal journey to captivate collectors and leave an unforgettable impression so that you have every single person out there who's watching this right now, every single artist on this planet has a unique story. And the thing is, most people just don't know how to communicate that story in a concise and powerful way to connect and reach their collectors. Storytelling is one of the most powerful skills that you can utilize within sales, and you're going to learn that at this experience. As you can tell, Ellie is a master at storytelling. She's, sort of, I wouldn't say perfected it because nobody's perfect within it, but she's honed her skills in storytelling. She's written her own book. If you haven't read it yet, check it out on Amazon. It's Unemployable. Actually, Audible releasing soon too. She has honed this over years and years of experience and selling and years of failure too, because it takes the failure in order to in that hurt and that place of darkness to want to seek the light, right? And so she has for a long time sought that light and is going to be sharing that in this Milan Art Experience. So, and then we're also going to be sharing with you the path to your ideal collector. So the techniques to identify, connect, and build lasting relationships with the type of people who want to buy your art. So a lot of times, as artists, you want to sell to anyone, right? Like, please, just anyone buy my art. Is there anyone out there? But that is actually the slowest way to sell your art. If you want to sell your art much quicker, then you have to identify who is the ideal person that you want to be collecting your art. And that way you can just speak to them directly and you'll connect with them directly. And I know it goes counterintuitive to, someone who doesn't have this limitless mindset or have this marketing mindset maybe, but that's another thing that we're going to be covering.
Yeah, you'll learn how to have those mindsets.
Yeah, we'll give you some techniques to, overcome those doubts and have an abundant mindset so that you can properly implement everything that you're learning, because it all starts at mindset, right? It all starts at identity, and that's what Ellie was talking about before. But there's kind of a difference between the two. And so we're going to talk about the evolved artist's identity, the new artist's identity within this. And we're going to talk about creating win-win relationships with galleries. And that's where a real gallery director who's been doing this for 20 plus years is going to be sharing what she looks for specifically in working with artists, and what she is, why she signs on certain artists and rejects other artists, and what is it that makes it a win-win relationship. So you're going to learn that too. And then lastly, there's other things that you're going to learn too, but specifically relevant to your question. Actually, there's several others, but I'll end on this one because we have other questions to get to too. But you're going to learn how to pitch with purpose. So you'll learn how to uncover your core message and communicate it effectively to resonate with people and inspire them. So that goes a lot, in along the same lines as using your storytelling, but it's a step deeper. It's connecting it to a purpose, to a greater desire, so that you can truly influence and be persuasive when you're selling your art. So that's just kind of a little taste of what you're going to learn. There's so much more that you'll get just by being there in person through diffusion, right? Like being around other people, there's this magic that happens. And whether you're online or in person, we have like this sort of collective consciousness that happens. And especially as artists too, we're super powerful. Our spirits are radiant, and we bounce, like ideas will be blossoming like none other. I remember that was one of the most tangible things at Milan Art Experience last year. There's just an abundance of ideas for marketing, for painting, for sources, for just different strategies and ways to connect with collectors. It's really amazing. And I can't wait for you to experience it if you choose to come this year.
Yeah. Jake, that was amazing. Even just you describing what they were going to learn, not even the how or the meat to it, or all that you have planned and what you're teaching, as somebody really deep in marketing and the marketing director at Milan Art Institute, for all of it that we're doing, just describing it was value. Like I'm sure people even learned just hearing the descriptions. So imagine what it would be like for 3 full days of learning, all these things. It's going to be incredible.
Yeah. So if you feel sold right now, then you're going to learn how to do the selling there. If you want to have a marketing mindset, come and embrace the marketing that's being done right now.
And I'm gonna tell you one key tip to selling. This is a key tip to selling your ideas. This is a key tip to selling your art to collectors. anything in life, everything you're doing is selling. I mean, even when you're campaigning in your family and pushing a restaurant that you want everybody to go to, you're selling. So so selling is everything, and the key to it is authenticity, genuineness, trueness, honesty. That is at the heart of all
So
of it.
true.
So all of our hearts right now is, I've been saying this for weeks and maybe even months. Whenever we gather and we meet and we talk about this experience and what all the things we have planned and strategies. I keep saying, oh, if we could just get everybody there, if they just knew what they were in for, if they just knew what they would be getting. And so like I genuinely, in the depths of my being, I genuinely literally want every artist that walks the earth to be there with all my heart. And I know emphatically that you would walk away completely transformed and elevated into a whole deeper path in what you want to do most. So anyway, so the key to selling is authenticity and genuineness.
Okay, so a few people were asking if we're going to have another one next year. So the answer is yes. The exact place that we're going to do it isn't determined yet. It will be in Florida, almost 100% guaranteed. But it could be in Sarasota. It could be in Miami again. We'll see.
Each year it's grown and we've done something a little bit bigger and different. So yeah, we will do it, but we just don't know when or the place.
Yeah. So with that being said, I think now is a good time to wrap it up. It is could you guys just do a quick reminder of everything that they're going to get when they sign up?
Everything.
Give them the stack.
Everything they get. Well, I mean, you're going to learn so much on how to really launch your career. And if no matter where you are as an artist, if you are just, like my mom was saying earlier, just interested in selling your work, being successful, knowing how to find your collectors, knowing how to communicate your story, knowing how to sell your work. If you're just interested in any of those, this is the right place to be. And just by being around so many other like-minded people and being able to find your tribe and other artists to connect to from all over the world. We have people from all different countries joining us, and we have in-person spots, which are selling out soon. And then we have online spots where you can join from anywhere and watch the live stream, which will be recorded. But if you want to come in person, it's really going to be such an amazing experience, really immersive, a 3-day event, and you don't want to miss it. So I think if you're just interested in this, go check it out. I think you have a link in the chat.
Yes, yeah, the link is pinned in the chat.
And this is I don't think you'll regret it. This is going to be such an amazing experience.
So it's October 2nd, 3rd, and 4th, right? No.
Third,
through
4th, and 5th.
Third, fourth, and
5th.
So October 3rd, 4th, and 5th, a 3-day, completely immersive, jam-packed,
fun
extravaganza experience with 100 other like-hearted artists. We're all coming together at a really upscale, beautiful, very large gallery, premier gallery, art gallery, fine art gallery in the heart of the design district, where the epicenter of art in Miami, maybe even in the world. I have this hunch that Miami is up and coming and will overshadow New York, LA, Paris. So, I mean, it's where Art Basel takes place. So, anyway, that is where it's being held for 3 days. It is going to be incredible. You will meet incredible people. You will walk away with lifelong friends. Your belief in yourself and your dream will be off the charts and through the roof and catapult you into success this year. You are going to learn from all kinds of speakers. There's also going to be a 2-day art show and experience
6th and
for
7th.
the people who come in person. And We are going to have expert speaking, panel discussions. There will be networking opportunities and ways to really connect. And I think it'll be one of the most inspirational and motivational things that you do, especially for your art career. So you don't want to miss it. It's going to be incredible. I can hardly wait. I'm counting the days. And there's even going to be an ice cream truck. So,
And more.
And more other
There's
things.
some other fun beverage carts
Yes.
that'll be there. Or potential, right? Yeah.
Yeah, you guys don't miss it. It's going to be so much fun. And if
A
you can't make it in person, you can join online, and that's almost just as good. So
Yeah, it is awesome, both online and in person. And if you come in person too, then you get the online recording as well. So, make sure to click that link in the top of the chat, sending it again here. And yeah, so we'll hope to see you guys there.
Yeah.
Even if you're not able to come and you are signing up online, sign up in the next 2 days. Don't wait till the last minute because early bird pricing
Gets
is
the worm.
ending. And so from now all the way until the event, from September 1st all the way to the event, it is normal pricing, and the early bird discount is going to be gone. So just sign up today, sign up tomorrow.
Save $50.
And save $50. So anyway, this has been really fun. I've enjoyed connecting with you and talking about this incredible event. And we will see you next time.
or we'll see you in Miami.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll see you in Miami.
Launch
That's
your
right.
art career this year with us.
Bye.